just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your burdened favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our church. Amen. Good afternoon, members, and welcome to this sitting. We may start the business of the day. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
May I? Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order. Sorry, members, for that anomaly. May I invite Honorable Felix Ngui, the Vice Chairperson, County Assembly Service Board, to come forward and give a notice of motion. Honorable Felix Ngui.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Felix Ngui, member of County Assembly representing the people of Katangi, and the Vice Chairperson in the County Assembly Service Board. Honorable Speaker, that aware that the County Assembly Service Board of Machakos is established pursuant to Section 12 of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, and Part 3 of the County Assembly Services Act, number 24 of 2017. Further, aware that one of the functions of the board is to direct and supervise the assembly service to ensure exemplary delivery of service to the public in strict observance of the values and principles of the public service set out under Article 232(1) of the Constitution, and the values and the principles of governance set out under Article 20 of the Constitution. Informed that pursuant to a resolution of the board in its meeting dated 14th November 2023, in line with the provisions of Section 22 of the County Assembly Services Act, number 24 of 2017, read with Section 20 and 23 of the Act, and other applicable laws. The board suspended Mr. Joseph Laban Mutisia from the office of the Clerk of County Assembly of Machakos as part of the disciplinary process on grounds of 1. Gross misconduct or misbehavior, 2. Incompetence, 3. Violation of the provisions of the Constitution, including Chapter 6 of the Constitution, and 4. Violation of the provisions of the County Assembly Services Act, number 24 of 2017. The following are the facts constituting the grounds laid out above. 1. Acting without the authority of the board in breach of the law. 2. Breach of the procurement law and processes. 3. Amendment of the budget without approval of the county assembly. 4, abuse of office. 5, breach of the constitution and statutory duty. 6, mismanagement of development projects. And 7, failure to implement the county assembly service board resolutions. The board gave Mr. Joseph Mutesa Laban 14 days to reply to the charges on or before the 28th of November 2023 at 10 a.m. However, the said person did not reply as advised. Section 23(2) of the County Assembly Services Act states that if the clerk does not furnish the board with a reply to the charges within the period specified, or in the opinion of the board, the clerk fails to excavate himself or herself, the board shall submit a notice of a motion to the Speaker seeking that the County Assembly revokes the appointment of the clerk. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give a notice of motion that this House approves the revocation of the appointment of the clerk, Mr. Joseph Laban Mutesa. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, special motion, revocation of appointment of the clerk, Mr. Joseph Laban Mutesa.
May I invite Honorable Felix Ngoi, Vice Chairperson, County Assembly Service Board, to come forward and move that special motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to move a motion for the revocation of the appointment of the clerk, Mr. Joseph Mutesa Laban. Honorable Speaker, aware that the County Assembly Service Board, or MACHAKOS, is established pursuant to Section 12 of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2022, and Part 3 of 2012, sorry, and Part 3 of the County Assembly Services Act, number 24 of 2017. Further, aware that one of the functions of the board is to direct and supervise the assembly services to ensure exemplary delivery of services to the public in strict observance of the values of the principle and the principles of the public service set out under Article 232(1) of the Constitution, and the values of the principles of the governance set out under Article 10 of the Constitution. Informed that pursuant to a resolution of the board in its meeting dated 14th November 2023, and in line with the provisions of Section 22 of the County Assembly Services Act, number 24 of 2017, read with Section 20 and 23 of the Act and the other applicable laws. The board suspended Mr. Joseph Laban Mutesa from the office of the clerk of the County Assembly of Machakos as part of the disciplinary process on grounds of 1, gross misconduct or misbehavior; 2, incompetence; 3, violation of the provisions of the Constitution, including Chapter 6 of the Constitution; and 4, violation of the provisions of the County Assembly Services Act, number 24 of 2017. The following are the facts constituting the grounds laid out above. 1, acting without the authority of the board and in breach of the law. 2, breach of the procurement law and processes. 3, amendment of the budget without approval of the County Assembly. 4, abuse of the office. 5, breach of the Constitution and statutory duty. 6, mismanagement of the development projects. And 7, failure to implement the County Assembly Service Board resolutions. The board gave Mr. Joseph Laban Mutesa 14 days to reply to the charges on or before 28th of November 2023 at 10 a.m. However, the said person did not reply as advised. Section 23(2) of the County Assembly Services Act states that if the clerk does not furnish the board with a reply to the charges within the period specified, or if in any opinion the board, the the clerk fails to excavate himself or herself, the board shall submit a notice of motion to the speaker seeking that the county assembly revokes the appointment of the clerk. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move a motion that this House approves the revocation of appointment of the clerk, Mr. Joseph Laban Mutisia. I wish to call Honorable Joanna to second my motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Joanna.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Johanna, representing the great people of Mutituni. Madam Speaker, for effectiveness and efficiency of such an office, and for the Assembly to be able to execute its mandate, such office requires competence and a lot of focus, and I therefore wish to second the motion for revocation of the clerk of the County Assembly of Machakos, Mr. Laban Mutisia. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Johanna. I now propose the question that this House approves the revocation of the appointment of the clerk, Mr. Joseph Laban Mutisia. I now invite members to debate the motion. I invite members to debate this motion. Honorable Brian Kisila, proceed.
Madam Speaker, I must commend the board for taking the right action. Madam Speaker, the law is very clear on the process of which the clerk can be removed. Whenever I sit in the appointment committee, and one of the biggest task or question which we prompt any appointee who we are vetting is either conversant with Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Any abuse of office which touches on integrity and leadership, any public officer is deemed fit to be removed from office. Madam Speaker, the procedure for removal of the clerk is well stipulated in our Constitution. And the County Public Service Board has actually followed the procedure to the letter. So, Madam Speaker, without wasting much time, I want to commend the Public Service Board for a job well done. And Madam Speaker, since the allegations which were leveled against him are serious, and you gave him time to come and defend himself, and he never saw it fit to come and defend himself, Madam Speaker, we are left with no choice but to go to the next step of you appointing a select committee to investigate him. But before that, the law states that we need to revoke him. So, Madam Speaker, I stand here as a very senior member of the appointment committee to support the motion that we revoke Mr. Mutisia's appointment as a clerk of this assembly. And number two, Madam Speaker, I must commend the board for secrecy. This board has operated with the highest level of secrecy. This is how boards operate. We were not privy to this until very late. And now the grounds have been laid by the vice chairman. and supported by fellow Commissioner, Mheshimiwa Johanna. And of course, you are the chair of the board. So you have followed the right procedure. So personally, Madam Speaker, I am I'm very happy that the right procedure has been followed. And now we should move very fast, revoke the appointment, and then we move to the next step of appointing the select committee. Let nobody ever think that this assembly belongs to them. Let nobody ever think that they'll come and embezzle funds belonging to the public and they go scot-free. And this is not just to him, it's to any public officer who has gone through this assembly. This assembly will be very tough on anyone who feels that they can misuse their office to embezzle public funds. So, Madam Speaker, I fully support, and I think we should move with speed and approve the motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Maitha, proceed.
Madam Speaker, I just want to seek some clarification. You know, when a motion of this nature has been brought in the floor of this House, it brings a lot of tension. And on the principle of justice and humanity, some allegations have been leveled to this individual, Madam Speaker. And I will seek of the mover, if possible, in the allegations that have been leveled against this member, at least give a substantive explanation as to why. For example, Madam Speaker, if we say like we have an issue like amendment of the budget, it would be prudent enough that this assembly would be furnished with information that interfered with the budget in the following ways. There are issues of mismanagement of development projects. It will be prudent enough that this Honorable House would be told this is what has been, as it is in the process of this House whereby when a motion or a member has tabled an issue in this House, Madam Speaker, it is substantiated such that when we go ahead and approve this motion, we have substantive reasons as to why the allegations that are here, Madam Speaker, have been raised upon, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Maitha.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the questions that the member is asking should be addressed by a select committee that should be formed to investigate the same. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I'll not even consult the law. You've finished for me. Yeah. That question, Honorable Maitha, is going to be answered by the select committee. We are just about to unveil right away.
Well, advised, Madam Speaker, I shall comment at the point in time when the select committee shall bring its resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kavyu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We want to appreciate the board.
And before Honorable Kavyu, kindly allow me to say something on what Honorable Member has just said. I'd like to refer you, Honorable Maitha, on the same issue that the law requires that under County Assembly Service Board Act, where is that? Section 24, Section 24. Yeah, Section 23, members, and I would like to read so that I clarify that issue. Where the board considers it necessary to remove the clerk under Section 20, the board shall frame a charge or charges against the clerk, forward the statement of the said charge or charges to the clerk together with a brief statement of the allegation in support of the charges. C, invite the clerk to respond to the allegation in writing, setting out the grounds on which the clerk relies to exculpate himself or herself, invite the clerk to appear before the board, either personally or with an advocate, as he may or she may opt on a day to be specified to exculpate himself or herself. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that on the issue of how the matter, how the charges should be framed is clearly stipulated in that law that you are supposed to give a brief statement of the allegation. Brief statement of the allegation. The rest is handled by the committee. No, we are done. I'll just clarify.
Okay.
Proceed, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker,
Yeah.
for that clarification. And it's on the same ground that I was raising. The process is very clear. And I think the Vice Chair, by tabling the matter and the motion before this House, they have stated and specified the grounds under which the board finds is necessary for the removal of the clerk, and also stated the facts constituting the same grounds. So I think upon the notice of the motion, the Speaker is required to proceed straight to forming the select, because if we start debating the matter, we have just been given the skeleton of the matter. So we'll request that you proceed, unveil the select committee. Then after the 10 days that have been granted by the standing orders, then at that point, when the report is submitted, we can debate and deliberate on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Well guided. I now, Honorable Mwanga, proceed.
Madam Speaker, I want to applaud the County Assembly Service Board. But Madam Speaker, I need some clarification because unless otherwise, maybe somebody somewhere wants to catch this assembly off guard. Madam Speaker, the motion, the prayer in the motion, that is the last sentence. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that this House approves the revocation. The prayer is this House approves the revocation of the appointment and the clerk of the clerk, that is one Mr. Joseph Laban Mutisia. Madam Speaker, I thought,
Point of
allow me
information.
finish. Madam Speaker, I need your protection.
Yeah,
Proceed. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let him
I
finish.
thought the
I'll
motion,
give you an opportunity.
I thought the motion would seek creation of a committee to look in the matters.
Okay.
I'm just looking for clarification.
Yes.
Because, Madam Speaker, I'm not a legal mind. I know you are a legal mind. I don't need any point of information. Allow me finish.
Let him finish. He says he wants clarification only.
I'm
You want
seeking
the
for a clarification.
whether it's a
Yes.
select committee or revocation.
I'm seeking clarification
Yes.
on whether that is how the motion should be,
Yes.
or the motion should have gone further to seek for formation of a committee to look into the allegations. And
Thank
I'm
you.
supporting
Thank
the
you,
report
Honorable
of the
Member.
County Assembly Service Board.
Thank you.
But let's not leave a loophole.
Correct.
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Member. Yeah, I get where you're taking us to. Yeah, but I can ask Honorable Brian to. I can
Like
see
to
you are burning up.
Yes, in fact,
to
Madam
respond.
Speaker, I did law up to and including my MBA. So I like, it's important that we follow the law. It's good that we follow the law. And I would like to inform my friend the procedure or removal of the clerk of county assembly. And I want to read for you The board may
No,
suspend.
not for him,
Oh,
for everybody.
The board may suspend.
Just clarify the point.
Yeah,
Just clarify the point.
The board may suspend or remove from the clerk, from the office, the clerk for 1, inability to perform the functions of his office, 2, gross misconduct or misbehavior, 3, incompetence, 4, bankruptcy, 5, violation of provisions of the Constitution, including Chapter 6, 5, violation of provisions of the County Assembly Services Act. Procedure for removal. Where the County Assembly Service Board considered it necessary to remove the clerk, the board shall frame a charge or charges against the clerk, which they did, forward the statement of the said charge or charges to the clerk, together with a brief statement of the allegations in support of the charges. The vice chairman, I say they did that. 3, invite the clerk to respond to the allegations in writing, setting out the grounds on which the clerk relies to absolve himself or herself. And they gave him time to do that, which he did not come to do that. 5, invite the clerk to appear before the board, which he did, and they did not do that. But he was invited, he didn't come. Should you waste time on that? If the clerk does not furnish a reply to the charge or charges within the period specified, or in the opinion of the board, the clerk fails to absolve himself. So this means, even if he came and tried to absolve himself, and the board felt that he did not absolve himself, the board shall submit a notice of motion to the Speaker of the County Assembly, seeking that the County Assembly revokes the appointment of the clerk.
That is where we are.
That's where we are.
Yes.
The motion shall specify the grounds, which the vice chairman has done, the facts constituting the ground, which the vice chairman has done. Upon the notice of motion, the Speaker shall refer the matter to a select committee. I think, Madam Speaker, I deserve some clap. Thank you very much.
Actually, are a lawyer.
Well informed, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Brian, for clarification. Honorable Ndawa.
Oh, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just wish to request, since now issue of revoking is a process, I propose now we move to the next step, because we may spend a lot of time, and some of the issues we are raising here will be raised that other time. Let us cross the bridge when we come to it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I now call the mover of the motion to respond.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to thank the honorable members of this honorable House for supporting my motion for the removal from office for one Honorable Mutisia as the Clerk of the County Assembly. Madam Speaker, you will realize that for any institution to move forward or to grow, it must have somebody who is competent to run the institution. The honorable members of this House will agree with me, so many things have been under mess, including their own welfare. Their issues has been mismanaged, and I think it's the high time that as you form the select committee to investigate on the matter, it is the high time that we get the right people in office, so that we do not become a laughing stock as an assembly. We need this assembly to be shiny. And in fact, our motto for the Machakos County is the count number 1. So we cannot be the count number 1 having incompetent people in the office. So, Madam Speaker, I want to thank members and wish that the committee that will be given the mandate to investigate will do a good job, so that they can bring to this House a good report, and this House approves the report so that this institution can be given the right people to run it. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and asanteni sana.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now put the question that this House approves the revocation of the appointment of the clerk, Mr. Joseph Laban Mutisia. As many are of the opinion, say aye.
Aye.
As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. I have some notes to make. Pursuant to Section 23, subsection 4 of the County Assembly Service Act, number 24 of 2017, and upon notice of motion stated under Section 23, subsection 3 of the same Act, the Speaker shall refer the matter to a select committee of the Assembly consisting of 11 members and established in accordance with the standing order of the Assembly to investigate on the matter within 10 days of receipt of this motion. Following consultation with the leader of majority, and the leader of minority of the County Assembly of Machakos, I have nominated the following members to constitute the select committee referred to in the above provision. Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, Honorable Mbili Ndawa, Honorable Anastasia Mutevu, Honorable Catherine Che, Honorable Francis Kitaka, Honorable Francis Kavio, Honorable Justus Mutuko, Honorable Benjamin Kinyungu, Honorable Winnie Mutua, Honorable Rosina Kanini, Honorable Lloyd Mutua. Thank you, members. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, approval of report of the Lands and Energy Committee on Konza Technopolis Buffer Zone Inter-County Fiscal and Development Plan 2023-2033.
May I, at this point, invite Honorable Daniel Ndwiki, Chairperson, Committee on Lands and Energy, to come forward to prosecute that motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Daniel Ndwiki, MCA Mlolongo Syokimau, and the Chair Lands and Energy Committee. Thank you.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Ndawa.
It's just a request I'm making, Honorable Speaker. I happen to be a member of the House Business Committee and I know what is coming. And the issue of coming before this House is a very serious matter. And if considering the time, we may not be able to conclude the business. So I'm requesting if we can be given the business, we go and read, then we ballot the same to be discussed tomorrow morning. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform this House, we will have to burn the midnight oil today to pass this report, because if we don't pass it today before midnight, the deadline is today midnight. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay. Honorable Member.
Madam Speaker, we cannot fail to pass this report today. Makueni passed it several months ago, and other counties have done it. If we don't do it today, we lose on a lot of issues. It is as serious as that. As a member of Lands Committee, I'm urging members, please, let's put some few hours for the sake of our county. This is a matter of life and death. Please, let us not spare any more minute. Let's allow them, the report to come. Let's debate on it and let's pass it. Please.
Honorable Mutie.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed, Honorable Mutie.
Thank you. Even as we try to salvage the report, I wish to bring to the attention of the Speaker and the House the importance of not sleeping on the job. Because if Makueni did it months ago, why did we have to wait until today? We need to be considerate. We are family members. We cannot be held at ransom because we are sitting on a deadline, and the report has been lying at the committee for a long time. We need also to be reasonable that...
Let him finish.
I need to finish.
I'll give you an opportunity.
So my point is that if we are to do this, let us say that this is the last time that we are supposed to stay because we are faced with a deadline. We had all the time, we should have utilized that time. That's my point.
Honorable Maida.
Madam Speaker, I'm speaking as a member of the Lands Committee. This report was brought to the committee from the departments concerned way late.
When?
It's about almost like it's about 2 weeks ago. That's when the committee received the report, and it was supposed to have been brought almost a month ago when we came from the joint meeting at Kiambu. So as a committee, we have worked upon this report to ensure that it comes before this House timely. Maybe, Madam Speaker, what the justice we can do to these honorable members. As a committee, we've gone through this report tirelessly. We have seen the good of this report to the last word of this report. Maybe what the chair would do justice to this House is just to hint the recommendations and what we intend to achieve, and then we go ahead and approve this report. Madam Speaker, we cannot have sat down on such an important report knowing its contents and the way it stands to benefit Machakos County. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So we may come back here and answer. What has been the problem? Why is it taking so long for you to bring? And I want you to remind you this morning, the chair of Lands Committee was not in session in the morning. When I called out, and there was nobody until somebody volunteered. Sorry, I know, honorable member, sorry. You volunteered.
No. I am not somebody.
Have you communicated?
No, Madam Speaker. I am a member of the committee.
Have you communicated?
Yes.
The two of you?
The chairman called me and told me he's held up.
Then you did report to the speaker that you had been sent.
No, I said I was holding on for the chairman. Please, I say that. And Madam Speaker, I am not somebody. I'm Honorable Brian Gisila.
I'm sorry, I withdraw. You are not somebody, you are honorable member. Okay, proceed, Honorable Ndwiki.
Thank you.
Proceed,
Thank you,
proceed.
Madam Speaker. Approval of report of on Land and Energy Committee on Konza Technopolis, Babazon Intercount Fiscal and Development Plan 2023-2033. Honorable Speaker, that aware that Article 185, Section Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution provides that the County Assembly may receive and approve plans and policies for the management of the exploitation of the county's resources, and the development and the management and its infrastructure and institutions. Aware that the Assembly received the Konza Technopolis Babazon Inter-County Physical and Land Development Plan 2023-2033. Informed that the development plan is 10-year plan that seeks to provide framework for partial development of 58,782 hectares of land covering the 10-kilometer radius within the 3 counties of Machakos, Makueni, Kajiado, here incited in the buffer zone. Cognizant that the plan proposes to reverse land for the ranching and wildlife and conservation, irrigation and small-scale agriculture, enhancement and transport and connectivity by linking the Technopolis to buffer, sewer treatment plant, solid waste collection center, and promotion of carbon credit initiatives, among other proposals. Aware that after receipt of the development plan, the committee in various sittings considered the plan and subsequently compiled the report. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move that I want to move the motion that, taking into consideration that findings, sorry, Madam Speaker, I will repeat again. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that, taking into consideration that findings of the Land Energy Committee on Konza Technopolis Buffer Zone in the County Fiscal and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033 laid on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 28 November 2023, and pursuant to Article 185, Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution, and Standing Order 190 Sub-Order 5 of the County Assembly Standing Orders approves the Konza Technopolis Buffer Zone in the County Fiscal and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
I wish to call Honorable Kisila to second.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Kisila. I now propose the question that, taking into consideration the findings of the Lands and Energy Committee on Konza Technopolis Buffer Zone Inter-County Physical and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033, laid on the table of the House Tuesday, 28 November 2023, and pursuant to Article 185(4) of the Constitution and Standing Order 195 of the County Assembly Standing Orders, approves the Konza Technopolis Buffer Zone Inter-County Physical and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033. Before I invite members to debate this motion, I wish to call upon the mover of the same to come and highlight on the report. Honorable Ndwiki, come forward and highlight on this report. And I would request you kindly to just take us through the executive summary, introduction, then go to proposals for the development plan, then now go to the recommendation and the conclusion. Are we together? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Konza Technopolis Buffer Zone in the County Fiscal and Land Development Plan, ICPLUDP, is a 10-year plan that seeks to provide framework post-partial development of 58,782 hectares of land covering 10-kilometer radius within the 3 counties of Makueni, Machakos, Kajiado, here cited in the buffer zone. Pursuant to Article 185 Sub-Article 4, the Constitution, the plan was received in the Assembly on 8th November 2023 and committed to Lands and Energy Committee for consideration, and subsequently report to the House approving under Standing Order 190 Sub-Order 5A. The committee considered the report in its various committee sittings and noted some key proposals that the development plan seeks to achieve, such as reserving land for both ranching and wildlife conservation, reserving 27 1,647.6 hectares of land for irrigation and small-scale agriculture. Enhancement of transport and connectivity by linking Technopolis to Mbava, proposed sewer treatment plant and solid waste collection center. Conservation of Kavani, Kimakio, Malili, and the Mumandu Hills, and promotion of carbon credit initiatives. Promotion of at least 10% tree cover and landscaping initiative on individual plots. Construction of 4 earth dams, 1 each along rivers Stonathi, Kwangali, Mukuyuni, and Kimutwa rivers to support agriculture. Establishment of centers for value addition in agriculture and livestock at Kalanzoni, Old Konza, Malili, Mumandu, Kimutwa, and preparation of detailed local fiscal and land use development plan for Malili, Muka, Mumandu, and Ulu that are rapidly urbanizing. Further, the committee confirmed that adequate public participation and validation of the plan was done, which majority targeted key stakeholders, such as landowners, ranch members, commissioners, professional bodies, and institutions. In terms of acreage, Machakos Babason is 45% of the total land and has 23% of its population residing in the Babason. The committee further noted that upon implementation of all proposals in the plan, there will be high economic growth, leading to higher tax revenue, which will in turn increase on source revenue. The committee therefore recommends approval of this plan pursuant to Article 185, Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Introduction.
Yeah, sure.
Honorable Speaker, the Konza Technopolis Babason Inter-County Fiscal Land Use Development Plan, ICPLUDP, is a 10-year plan that seeks to provide framework for spatial development of 58,782 acres of land, covering 10-kilometer radius within the 3 counties of Makueni, Machakos, Kajiado, here cited as the Babason. The plan revises the 2013-2023 Konza Techno-City Local Fiscal Development Plan, Babason, that was prepared under the repealed Fiscal Planning Act, Cap 286, as guided by the section of 29 to 35 of the Fiscal and Land Use Planning Act, number 13 of 2019, PLUPA. The Konza Technopolis Babason Zone, ICPLUDP, seeks to provide harmonious land use and development between Konza Technopolis and its 10-kilometer Mbaba area, and to protect the integrity of the investments engaged in the Technopolis. Number 3, the plan is product of public and stakeholders' participation ranging from national and respective county governments, Konza Technopolis Development Authority, Konza Babason landowners, ranching and farming associations in the and the religious institution, estate owners, Adi Kapiti Conservancy, among others, under guidance of the Inter-County Joint Fiscal Land Use Planning Committee, established under the Section 29, subsection 2 of PLUPA. Equally, the process of preparing the plan provided an opportunity for the capacity building of national and county government institutions, as well as the ground knowledge and experience from the respective county teams. Number 4, the 10-kilometer buffer zone from Konza Technopolis boundaries covering part of Machakos, that is 766 acres or hectares, Kanjiado 6,552 hectares, and Makueni 25,564 hectares counties, is endowed with vast and diverse natural resources, including biodiversity and land, diversity and land and unique ecosystems, which underpin the main beacons for the socio-economic development while promoting the development of Konza Technopolis and the count at large. These include presence of youthful population, rich culture and social capital, good climate and land for both agriculture and livestock production, diversity of wildlife species, conservancies and ranches, scenic hills and beautiful scenarios, and availability of both surface and groundwater resources. However, the challenges of rapid urbanization, uncontrolled development, lack of basic infrastructure, disintegration, and ecological sensitive areas ESAS, human life conflict, land fragmentation, and climate change continue to be hindrance to sustainable growth and development of the buffer zone area. As such, the plan makes the following proposals. Now, Madam Speaker, I will go to the proposals of the committee. Honorable Speaker, the Konza buffer zone in the County Fiscal and Land Use Development Plan made the following proposals. Group ranching land within buffer zone that and about 18,407.19 has been reserved for both ranching and wildlife conservation areas in order to secure the proposed Konza Techno conservation area Ardhi Kapiti to connect the large Nairobi National Park. Number 2, a total of 27,647.61 hectares of land as reserved for irrigation, ranching, and small-scale agriculture. Number 3, enhancement of transport and connectivity by linking the Technopolis to the Baba and beyond with an SGR line, development of that 341.86 hectares airstrip at Ilari Ranch, subject to a feasibility study and enhancement of the existing roads network. Number 4, proposed sewer treatment plant and solid waste collection center for waste management within the buffer zone. The buffer zone will utilize the waste to energy plant that has been provided within the Konza Technopolis. Number 5, conservation of Kaviti, conservation of Kavani, thank you, Kimakio, Malili, Mumandu youths, and promotion of carbon credit initiatives such as RED Plus within the existing forest ecosystem. Number 6, promotion of at least 10% tree cover and landscaping initiative on individual plots in order for the buffer zone to achieve 20 to 25% tree cover by the year 2023. Construction, number 7, construction of 4 earth dams and 1 inch along the following rivers: Stonadi, Kwangali, Mukuyuni, and Kimutwa rivers to support agriculture. Number 8, establishment of centers for the value addition and agriculture and livestock at Kalanzoni, Konza, Malili, Mumandu, Kimutwa, and the next to Ilmamen Primary School in Kajiado. Number 9, preparation of detailed local fiscal and land use development plan for Malili, Mukaa, Mumandu, and Ulu that are rapidly urbanizing without planning framework. Number 10, preparation of land fiscal and preparation of local fiscal and land use development plans for purposes of renewal, development, revitalization of the old Konza and the Kimutwa urban centers. Madam Speaker, allow me to go to the key observation of the Machakos Babazon area.
Sure.
Honorable Speaker, the committee discussed the development plan in various committee meetings and came up with the following observations. Number 1, that pursuant to Article 10 of the Constitution and Section 115 of the County Government Act 2012, adequate public participation and validation of the plan was done, which majority targeted key stakeholders such as landowners, ranch members, commissioners, professional bodies, and institutions. Those meetings were held in various dates in the months of April and May in either Kalanzoni, Machakos County, Mima, Kilungu, Kwandisi, Makueni County, or Konza Town, Kajiado County. Number 2, that the Machakos Babazon covers 7,066 hectares, which is about 45% of the total Babazon. The population of Machakos County falling under the Babazon is 54,456. That is 23% of the total population residing in the Babazon. Compared to Makueni, 107,549, and Kajiado 64,213, ends Machakos count as the lowest population falling under the Babazon, and compared to Makueni count, this has indirect impact to the economic benefits expected to be tapped within the Machakos Babazon. Number 3, that the Baba zone for Machakos County is mainly ranching and conservancy area, implying that key land uses like commercial, residential, and agricultural and their associates economic benefits will be enjoyed in Machakos County. Those land uses majorly fall in Makueni County, Babazon. Machakos County has 4 urban and commercial nodes falling under the Babazon. They include Konza, Kwakavo, Kimutwa, and Difota. The Machakos Babazon has accommodated educational facilities such as primary schools, Fota, Baluku, Kwakavo, Bondoni, Chamudhinza, and Kimutwa. Secondary schools, we have Kimutwa and Kwakavo. And tertiary, we have Kimutwa Vocational Center. Number 6, the Baba does not have higher level health facilities. The plan has therefore proposed level 2 facilities in Kimutwa and Kwakavo. See page 74. In water, resource, and conservation, the Babazon in Machakos County has reserved construction of earth dams along Stone Earth, Kwangali, Mukuyuni, Kimutwa rivers. The dams will be supplemented by drilling of boreholes and establishment of water ponds within those areas. Recommendations. Honorable Speaker, Article 185, Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution provides that the County Assembly may receive and approve plans and policies for the management and exploitation of the county's resources and the development of management of its infrastructure and institution. Pursuant to the above provision, as read together with Section 8, subsection 1E of the County Government Act 2012 and Standing Order 190, Suborder 5A and B, this committee recommends that the House approves the Konza Technopolis Barberson Integrated Fiscal and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033. Lastly, but not least, Madam Speaker, conclusion and acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, this development plan has addressed common land, environmental, economic, and social issues, such as land fragmentation, environmental degradation, and over-reliance on rain-fed agriculture, increased human-wildlife conflicts, and exploitation of tourism and industrial potential, and inadequate road connectivity. Pursuant to Article 10 of the Constitution that relates to principles of governance, adequate public participation was conducted, and this is a good assurance that implementation of the plan will be welcomed by residents of the 3 counties, that is Machakos, Kitui, and Kajiado. Honorable Speaker, the committee extends its appreciation to the offers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the support accorded, and the Committee of executing its mandate and opportunity according to members and the Secretariat to write the report. Special recognition goes to the Motanges Technical Planning Team from Machakos, Makueni, and Kajiado counties, comprising of fiscal planners, fiscal planning assistant, architects, surveyors, GIS experts, and environmental drone from the partner institution for their dedication in preparation of the development plan and offering related technical expertise. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of Lands and Energy Committee, it's my privilege and pleasure to table before this honorable House the report of Konza Technopolis Barberson Inter-County Fiscal Land Use and Development Plan 2023-2033 for discussion and adoption. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ndwiki. Is that word Kajiado or Kajiado? Kajiado. Let's make those necessary changes so that we don't have a different county in our books. Honorable Kavyu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I also want to appreciate the Honorable House for accepting to sacrifice their time to debate on this important issue that is affecting our county, and also maybe to inform the House. Maybe I think we all understand there were changes that happened in the Department of Lands, where the minister who was in charge left, so that probably the transition might have affected the process of ensuring the report came in good time. But however, in future, for such sensitive measures, we'll also think the committee can take that as a feedback to the concerned department. Issues of such magnitude should be handled with seriousness. I support the report, Madam Speaker, but there are 2 issues that would also like the committee to make a follow-up, by the virtue that my ward neighbors the Konza Technopolis city that is positioned to be of huge benefit to our people. But there is one perennial challenge, Madam Speaker, that we have been enduring as neighbors and the people bordering the Kapiti Conservancy, that is supposed to become a corridor for animal migration from the Nairobi National Park. And Madam Speaker, to inform this House, as we talk, now that it has not been fully operational, we are still grappling with challenges of human-wildlife conflict. So as they also prepare a plan, we also want the committee to find out what the Conservancy and the city is going to do to ensure that our people of Kinania Ward are protected from such, because few weeks ago, residents of Itimboni villages spent countless nights sleeping in fear, not being able to go on with their business because there was I think I was not in school when the teacher taught about what a group of leopard it's called, but there were leopards that were trolling the area, and as we talk, Madam Speaker, farmers are counting losses because their animals were attacked. So we don't have faith that Kapiti is now going to become operational when animals move from Nairobi. We don't have a lot of faith with the Kenya wildlife officers who are stationed in Kapiti because of their laxity to respond to cases when the community raises an outcry. So we want the committee, as we also approve this report, we want the concerned department to come out clear and tell us whether the Conservancy is going to be fenced properly and make sure that the people of Kinania Ward are secure from wildlife invasion. That has been the order of the day. And we appreciate the city that is going to come. And the other issue that we also need to be looked at, the report comments that Machakos might not benefit much in terms of commercial and residential benefit that comes with the buffer zone, but it is an appeal that we made, and I also raised the issue during the public participation, that Chumvi town, that is also one of the bigger urban centers compared to Malili, Kalanzoni, and probably the old Konza. Chumvi town serves as one of the gateway. So even if, because much of the 10 kilometers has been consumed by the Conservancy, we also want to request through the committee that that request be presented, that at least Chumvi town, even if it is not going to be taken into account, can the Konza Technopolis city take it upon themselves and provide it as a CSR and help in planning of the city, because most of the people who will be working in Konza City, majority of them will be living in Chumvi. So it being the gateway and the entrance from the capital city of Nairobi, it ought to have been granted an exception, because we don't want investors, tourists coming to enjoy the services that will be provided at the city going through a slum. So Chumvi needs also to be incorporated so that we can have planned development. And because even most of the land, I'll give an example of one of the Mwambi Ranch. Maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, it will not be a ranch. It might change and decide to dispose it. So that is a fact that we need to take into account, because it's an ideal area for settlement. So that's a request that we are making to the committee, so that that can be taken into account. And maybe the last thing that I want to contribute, we all understand that there has been a discord between the 3 counties on exactly who is supposed to own the city. We all understand that according to the plan, the original plan, Konza City entirely sits in Machakos County, but there has been that discord between the 3 counties. So as we also prepare for the benefit that will come with the development of the city, also the committee and all the relevant bodies needs to agree on a revenue sharing formula if that discord is not going to be resolved, because that city is supposed to come and benefit Machakos County, Makueni, and Kajiado. So the committee needs also to make a recommendation to the team that is working on a revenue sharing formula. Maybe they can look at the criteria that will suit, because what we want is not a fight on who owns the city, but we want the dream to be realized as soon as possible. And if we are not able to agree on who should be the host for the city, then we need to find a way of coexisting together so that we do not delay the benefits that are supposed to come along with the city that is upcoming. Otherwise, it's a good report, and we support and we look forward to further engagement and having the Committee on Land and also the affected parties being involved on day-to-day basis so that we can realize the full benefit. And maybe as I sit down, Madam Speaker, something I'd forgotten, we also need clarity, because we have seen cases where a classic example is the SGR. We saw the people who are in Kajiado along the Stonyard, Kapiti, and those areas of Elmamen. For them, when the SGR was being constructed, they were fully compensated. But if you go to areas of Makueni, Emali, Mutitu, where we had similar victims of people being reallocated, some of them to date have never been compensated because of land ownership issues. So we need that clarity. In case of people, those who will be affected by the buffer zone, is the government going to treat them equally, because they might not have the official document, that is the title deeds, but those are the places where they have known as home. So we don't want a repeat of a similar case where our people in Makueni and Machakos County will be reallocated and fail to get compensation if their land is acquired for progress. Because, Madam Speaker, most parts of Chumvi, Vota, Kalama, and Kalanzoni, formerly members of the Konza city, the Konza ranch, most of them to date have not been able to have their title processed. They only have certificates and membership card. So we don't want them to be disadvantaged just because they don't have a title, yet their land legally belongs to them. So those are the items that we want taken care of. Otherwise, we are in fully support of the same and very much ready for the Konza city that is the future that will transform the Ukambani region and Kenya at large. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Those are very weighty issues. I think we should put them into really consideration, especially the issue to do with compensation and the issue to do with where does this particular technopolis lie in within the 3 counties. Thank you. Honorable Ndawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will start by congratulating the chair and the committee for coming up with a very elaborate and straight to the point report. Honorable Speaker, I was keenly following when he was reading the report in my phone, and I can confirm that the issues which are mentioned here are correct, and I've also learned from the chair that the matter is extremely urgent. In fact, it is extremely urgent. So, Honorable Speaker, because of that urgency, I would wish to request that you put the question, we approve the report, so that the typing can be done before it is too late. We hand over the report wherever it is expected. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members, for that. Because of the urgency, I now call the mover to come and reply briefly. Then I'll put the question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First and foremost, I want to thank you for allowing this motion to come before this House, and also thank honorable members of this House for being patient enough for this motion. I know it has come in the time that was not favorable to honorable members, but what I want to say about this motion is that this buffer zone, I want to make it clear to honorable Kafiu that this buffer zone is not going to take any land for anyone. It's just a plan, 10-kilometer radius planning. Because, Madam Speaker, you cannot enter a city passing through, passing through Finjinjis. So it's good that, Madam Speaker, we make the 10 radius kilometer. If an investor lands at the 10 radius, start feeling that there is city ahead of me. So that's why we have this plan that will capture all the planning of those areas. So there is no land, no personal land that will be taken. And there is nothing, it's not that it's a plan. It's just a plan and guide us on how you should make the area. So, Madam Speaker, I thank you, honorable members, for contributing on this matter. And I thank you all for your patience and your support. And also to thank the Committee of Land for working under very hard circumstances and making this report come out. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, honorable member. I now put the question that, taking into consideration the findings of the Lands and Energy Committee on Consa Technopolis Buffer Zone, Inter-County Physical and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033, laid on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 28th November 2023, and pursuant to Article number 185, Subarticle 4 of the Constitution, and Standing Order 190, Suborder 5 of the County Assembly's Standing Orders, approves the Consa Technopolis Buffer Zone Inter-County Physical and Land Use Development Plan 2023-2033. As many are of the opinion, say ayes. Ayes. As many are of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, honorable members. The House adjourns to Wednesday, 29th November 2023 at 10 a.m. in the morning. And I was born tomorrow. See you tomorrow. A lot of water. Water is not welcome. Something else is welcome.